Hello and welcome to my video in which I'm going to be looking at the Archery Club Management software that I've been building. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Martin and I work for a company called Revelation Software Limited, and Revelation provide a product suite called OpenInsight, which is an application development toolset for creating database driven solutions, sitting somewhere between Access and Visual Studio with SQL or Oracle. It provides developers with an underlying database and then all of the tools that you need to create graphical user front ends, web front ends, so forms and reports, basically everything that you need. Whilst it's aimed at business, it is also great for hobby developers such as myself, because it's amazing how much you can do without having to create lots and lots of code, and it enables systems to evolve with you. So enough of the sales pitch. Why have I gone on and built the Archery Club Manager? Well, the main reason is back in April 2012 I found myself running my local archery club, Archers of Raunds, and I was presented with a load of paperwork, and I really wanted to get more organised with the paperwork and also capture more information. So I wanted to handle my follow-ups and information about beginners courses and really have a solution that was going to manage me on a day-to-day basis without me needing to work hard. I'm a very busy person. I work hard, I play hard, and I really needed tools that were going to enable me to be a little bit more organised where the club is concerned. The system began as just a day-to-day administration type system, which was only going to be for my own use. But recently I've created a tournament module. Now this will form part of a separate video, but it manages the whole life cycle of a tournament. And the main reason why this was built was because of an issue that I had at a recent tournament. The award ceremony didn't go quite to plan, and it spoilt what was otherwise a fantastic day. And I found myself in the same position as an awful lot of people that are running tournaments. I've seen this time and time again, and I feel really sorry for those people when things are going wrong, and now I know how it feels. And I turned to some of the commercial software and found that even those commercial systems, I couldn't get them to work properly for a multi-round tournament such as the one that we were doing. So that module, we're going to look at that in a different video, but that whole module is designed to really crack that particular problem. So for the future, I've already got a personal progress module which is being designed on paper. This is going to enable you to track how your equipment changes over time and to accurately log all of your rounds, your scores, etc. So rather than just scores, actually what you scored, how the score was made up, etc. That's one for the future. I'm also going to introduce whatever Archers of Raunds needs from the system, obviously. And if we release this software more widely, then what information our users are going to want to see in the system. So the functionality that they require, we'll also look at building in. So enough of the waffle. Let's just shut down PowerPoint and dive into the software itself. Right, when you log into the system, you're presented with this window. Now we call this an MDI window. It's a multiple document interface window, which consists of a main menu bar at the top here and a toolbar with buttons accessing the screens, and those screens are going to display in this area here. Now I like fantasy art, and I've got images with an archery feel. I think what fantasy art artists do is just phenomenal, and they do some great work. And this is well, in fact, all the images I've got in here I found on the web, and they're all free to use. But you can set up your own images in the system admin section of the system. You can go into image pass and you can define 18 different images of your own liking. So they could be images of your family, of holiday, of landscapes, pets, whatever you want. And when the system runs up, it's going to pick one of those at random and display it for you. And I just think that's nicer than having a dull grey background or some image that I force on you. Anyway, we digress a little bit. What I want to do is look at the main parts of the system. Now, the system itself is split into two modules currently. One is the day-to-day running of a club, and the second is the tournaments. And the tournaments I'm going to leave for a separate video. There's enough in there to warrant a video in its own right. So what we're going to do is we go into Archers first of all, and I'll bring up a record that's got some dummy data in here, so I don't have any problems with sensitive data. Now, Archers and clubs. Initially this was written just for me to track the archers within our club and club information for clubs around where we are. Obviously, as it's grown, I've introduced other information here. So archers now are really contacts. So it could be archers, parents, people that visit the club, judges, even suppliers, people within suppliers. Any person that I interact with regards to the club goes onto this particular screen. And the same with clubs. I can have clubs, suppliers, whatever. So for instance, I've got in there all of the local clubs. I've also got Target Craft, Aim for Sport, Quicks, Merlin as the main archery suppliers for our club. I've also got the company that looks after our website, etc. So I've got clubs and suppliers in there. So you just bear that in mind while we're actually working through the system that isn't just archers. But working with just archers, this is Lauren's card. And you've got contact information for her, so address, phone, email addresses and the like, the type of bow that she normally shoots, and her website login. At AOR we have a private area on our website that people need to log in, so I've got a username and a password which is masked out. Now you'll notice in the system that some of the labels are black text and some are blue. If you click on blue it will do something, so in this instance it will expose the password for me, or it will hide the password for me. We've also got the ability to put some sort of reminder which will go into our tasks, so I'm going to do a follow-up on this particular date. And then the busy part of the screen is held by these tabs. Now on the first tab, which is general information, I've got a date of birth and approximate age and hand and eye dominance and where the individual a person found out about us. And through the system there are these drop downs, so I can pick from a list, or I could type in something fresh, or if it's going to be something that I want to use time and again, then I can click on the blue button and that will automatically bring up the system records window so that I can add in a new value, and then that new value will immediately be available to us in the drop down, and that's pretty consistent throughout the system. Obviously, GNAS numbers are very important. We need to make sure that our archers are fully insured, both archers within the club and also visitors. So I've got a way of capturing the current GNAS number and the date, so I can see that Lauren's is expiring today, so I might want to get on to the person in the club that administers those and find out what the latest status is of her subscription with Archery GB. Also, our coaches need to have NSPCC certification and CRB certification, so we've got the numbers and their expiry dates in there. Again, if they're expired, then I can be jumping on to people and saying, right, come on, we need to get you renewed. And also whether this individual is a judge or not. Now that's important because when we get into the tournament section, if they're a judge, they're going to show in the pop-up. Club information. So which club does this particular archer belong to? So that's just linking it to a club. We'll look at that in a moment. The position that that individual holds within our club, and the membership type, so whether a junior shooting member, senior shooting member, whatever. Now you can define your own positions and types and sources, etc. in the system. So this is an unending list. It's just limited by whatever prompts you want to have available or options you want to have available to people. I can also link this individual to an associate club as well if I want to, just by adding the associate club information down here, and this is more just for read purposes more than anything else. If an archer is going to be coming on a course, then we need some prompts to manage that as well, and this is done in this section here. So firstly, if somebody is interested in the course, tick the box to say that they're interested and put in the date of their interest. very straightforward, and that way you can look back and see who's expressed an interest in your course. When they then book on the course, you can drop the date of the course in, and then when they actually begin the course, you can check the box, which will then remove them from the interested list, because obviously they're no longer interested in the course, they're now on the course. And whether they've paid, how they paid, and the amount, that's more for the treasurer. And the coach, who was the lead coach who took this particular archer through their course. It's obviously important in the future if you need to know who was the person that taught them what they know. At Archers of Raunds, we give out beginners packs to our beginners, so I can see that beginners pack was given, and also a progress card was given, and also I can see that Lauren finished the course and she was awarded with her certificate of competence that we provide. Permissions is important. Do I need to remove this individual from email lists? They don't want to receive regular emails about the club, bulk emails that are going out to people. Also, I will very often use photographs on the website and my blog, my chairman's blog. So am I allowed to publish their photograph, or do I need to get permission to publish a photograph of them? And do I allow the sharing of email addresses? Again, when we're sending out, very often the members are sending emails to each other, they will copy a whole group of people. Am I going to allow my email address to be shown in that list? And then any special needs and experience that the archer might have. It's just a little memo field on there. I can expand that by adding in free text into this white area in the notes. It's just free text to put in whatever I want, and then we've got a communications tab here showing the communications that I've had with this individual, and these are emails, and as you click on each of the emails you can see the actual text below of what is in that email, so you can see a communication history with your archers. Any photographs, now I can browse for different photographs and I can add those into the table here, and just moving around the table will bring up a different image. Or I can set an image as a default, so when I come in here this is the main image that will show, and obviously I can remove them from the table as well. Any tournaments that this individual has shot at or is scheduled to shoot at, so Lauren is scheduled to shoot at the test tournament that I've set up for the next video, but she hasn't actually posted any scores yet because she hasn't come. But you'll get a list of all of the tournaments that she's attended. And then we've got the emergency tab. Now this is information that a lot of people will consider to be overkill, but it's information that I was advised by somebody in the know at the level 1 the level 1 coaching course that I went on, and it sort of seemed to make sense. So we've created a form where we're capturing this information from people that are coming on our beginners course. So the height and weight, so that we can make sure we got a bow for them, whether they will allow blood transfusions or not. So if there is an accident and a paramedic turns up and wants to know that information, and I've got that to hand. Obviously they should have their own medical records, but I've got that information set as a preference from this individual when they started the course. Obviously if there's a bad accident, we put them on an ambulance, send them off to hospital, but who do we then need to call? So we've got the emergency contact information so that I can get on to a relative or a friend, whoever this individual would want contacted, so that that individual can then get up to the hospital and meet them there. Doctor's information, should we need to contact the doctor for any reason, and then other details. So I can see down here immediately that Lauren has got some health problems. Click on the button to see what they are, and she suffers with hay fever during the summer months, so we might want to be aware that she might be taking antihistamine. That could be making her a little bit drowsy. Is she okay to shoot with the medication? I can also see that there are some snagging hazards, so she's got her ears pierced and she has long hair. So when she comes onto the training course, make sure that she's not wearing long earrings, that she's wearing studs, and do they need to be taped? And her hair, is it taped back, tied back into a ponytail or something? We can make sure that we are checking for all of those things. And then there's 3 buttons here that the archer has confirmed that they will inform the coach if there's any reason why they should not be able to shoot during the course. We ask the question, but again we actually ask the archers to say to us, if there's any reason why you can't shoot, you must inform us. Trip leaders, can I share this information with anybody that's arranging a trip? for club members? And can I share this emergency information with the emergency services? Yes or no? Because obviously you have to be careful who you're sharing information with these days. So that's the Archers card, and Archers are linked to clubs. So if I go onto the clubs window here, most of the forms throughout the system, you'll see blue text next to the ID number, the record ID. If you click on that, that will give you a pop-up window. I didn't look at it on the Archers one because obviously it would have brought up email addresses, which is private information I didn't want to share on a public video. But here you can see this pop-up. I can search it, I can print it, or I can just pick the option that I want from the top of the list, and that gives me my club information for the test club. It gives you the main address and all of the contacts within the club. And with the contacts, if I was to click on a contact, then it will pop up a window with that individual's information, similar to the record that we've just been looking at. I can also set up multiple venues, so the main address would normally be your secretary address where mail would go to, but a lot of us have different indoor venues and outdoor venues, so they can be set up. At Archers of Raunds we just have the one, we're lucky. Other people can have venues that are several miles away, and then obviously contact information for the club as well. They can browse for a photo and put a club logo in there. And the fact that this is a club, just check the box to say that it is an archery club rather than a supplier or something like that. Most of us have trophies that we need to manage, so I've got a little module in here. If I just bring up record number 38, you can see that we have a trophy for our test tournament. It's for the recurve ladies under 11 category, and it happens to be Shield. Now if I want to, I can browse for a photograph and I could save that photograph against the record. So this is the little shield that is this trophy, and who it's out to at the moment, and when it was awarded, when we requested for it to be returned, normally a couple of weeks before the tournament, and whether it was returned, and then any notes, maybe there's been some damage or it needs to be replaced, or some other reason. So that's just a little way of tracking who's got our trophies, etc. So we'll just come out of there. Communications. We looked at communications on the Archer's card. This is where communications are put in. Now I could just go ahead and set this up as a phone call, put a date and a time and link it to whoever, or this little icon here, and it's also on the top here, shows that I've got mail. The flag is up. So if I import mail, that will go away to Outlook, which is configured in a specific way, and it will bring that email in. Now I only have one email, which means my email box in Outlook is empty, so I haven't got to look for any more. And I can link that to an organisation. So we'll link that to the test organisation, and I can also link that to a contact, so we'll just link that to Lauren, and I can link that to another person as well if I want to, and then when I'm done I can just save that away. So that's test email for video, so we'll save that. And then if I was to go back into the Archer's record, as you expect, on the communications tab, I've now got that additional bit of information, test email for video. So that's a nice, easy, quick way of bringing all of the communications together, and I can view all of the communications with an archer in particular, or all communications with archers in a particular club, or all email with employees within a supplier. It brings it all together quite nicely for me. Club records, possibly a little bit overkill, because our records officer has got his own commercial system that he uses for club records, but I've put this in here for completeness. Simply we've got indoor imperial, metric, outdoor imperial, outdoor metric and other rounds, and it very simply shows the information of that particular club record, and I can add in a new one by simply filling in these boxes. So for a Brave 1, bare bow, fill in the boxes, fill in the score, and then just simply add the row, and it'll add it into the table, save that away, and you've got your club records. I'm not going to save that. Tasks. These are the things that I need to do on a day-to-day basis, so I don't forget things. I can either have tasks that are related to contacts. Now I've got this as customer-related tasks. This system is still being developed at the moment, and that's a pretty bad title there. It really needs to be, Archer-related tasks. But I can create a task and link it to a particular Archer. That's bringing up that little memo box at the bottom of the screen. Red ones are overdue. Green ones are for today, and I'm not going to do this because I'll be bringing in real email addresses, but I can click on the red and green to refresh, and I'll see all of my contacts going forwards, and they will be in black. And I can click on the email address to launch my email client in the same way I could on the Archers form to send an email to this particular individual. And I've got some personal tasks down here as well, and I can tick them as done when they're done. So it's a nice way of making sure that I don't forget to do something that I promised somebody. The accident module is still being done. I'm not going to bother looking at that now, but it's just basically going to be an accident book. But one of the good modules in here is the coaching log. Now, a lot of coaches don't record information about their different coaching sessions, and the importance of this became very clear at my level 1 coaching course that we did, and out of that I've started to log all of my coaching sessions. Now this is one that I did. I had 2 Archers. I've got tick boxes just to show which of the sessions that they attended. M1 and M2 is miss 1 and miss 2. So if you missed session 3, we'll basically add on another session at the end and make sure that we cover what was missed in 3. Ange's in some notes information here, just memorandum. And then session 1, the date, the duration, what the aim of the session was, and any notes about the session. Who actually took the course, and whether if there were multiple coaches, who was the key coach, the main leader coach, whether the safety checklist was done, whether the equipment check was done, and any comments about those, any reasons not to shoot. So I did say to these guys, is there any reason why you can't shoot today? Medical reasons, injuries, etc. I did ask the question, so it's ticked, and I undertook a safety briefing as well. And the warm-ups, so we completed the warm-up. Warm-up was done for D, and it was supervised. I actually took them through, but we didn't have time to do the cool-down. Should have done, didn't on this particular instance. Session 2, exactly the same information. Session 3, session 4, exactly the same. So you're fully documenting all of your coaching sessions that you did. And then the documentation. We require an application form to be completed before people come on our courses, and I saved that document to my computer, and I've just got a note here of where it's saved on my hard drive. So that's a nice little coaching log that I'm quite pleased with. I have the ability to create email lists. Again, I'm not going to open these because it will be showing people's email addresses, but I can create any number of email lists. So it might be a list of coaches, a list of shooting members, a list of club members, a list of suppliers, whatever list that you want. And then those lists are used on the send email module. So I can grab a list which will bring all of the recipients into here. I then configure my email. It could either be plain text or HTML, and I usually tend to do HTML emails. So I'll put the title of my email here. The name is going to be used in the salutation, so dear Lauren, Jim, Bob, Sue, whoever. And then the content of the email goes in here. I can then batch in a number of emails, so I usually batch in 40s to send them every 5 minutes, and then I can see how many have been sent, and at the end it will come up and say that all of the emails have been sent. So this is going to send a personal email to each of the email addresses in this list. Okay, let's come out of there. The schedule, this is very simple. It's going to make a link out to the web, and it's going to bring in my Google Calendar, so you'd need to log into your own Google Calendar or your own calendar, but this is how I've actually got my schedule working in this particular system. And then lastly, we've got reports. I'm not going to run these reports because obviously it's got live data, but I can run the report writer to produce some ad hoc reports. I can see who's interested in my beginners course. I can see the beginners report, my member contact information, club records, etc. And this is a plain button at the moment because I'm yet to do the emergency contact report. There's a number of reports that are still to be created in the system, and the tournament reports here, they're all going to be changed as well now that I've got the tournament module, because the logic behind the scenes has changed significantly. But this little report library will grow as we get more reports in the system. I'm going to look at tournaments in another video because that is another quite big system that warrants a look at in its own right. But this is the day-to-day management side of running an archery club that I've got, I think, completely encased in this particular part of the Archery Club Management software. Hope you find this video useful, and like I said, a lot of people have been asking me what I've been doing. Well, now you know. I look forward to seeing you in the next video where we'll be looking at tournaments. Take care. Bye bye.